been organizing my notes.
All right. Well, I hope they're organized because here we go. We're live. Hi.
Oh, snap.
Oh, shit.
If there's anyone in the channel, hi, how you doing? If you're
Hello.
listening to this later, hi, how you doing? We are going to play some Heart, continuing our game from last week. What about these Dream Barracudas? What are we doing? What did I call it again this week? What about these Souls of the Sea? Every episode title will reference at least one Heart song, possibly more. So
Dreamboat Annie.
That's
my
coming.
request for the next one. Okay.
That's the name of the playlist I put on YouTube for this. It's Dreamboats and Barracudas.
Nice.
There you go.
That's fantastic.
So it's just gonna be nothing like this, and I'm really looking forward to the Magic Man. Oh, when we get to Magic Man, it's gonna be good. that's gonna be the crazy app. But anyway, hi, I'm Jeff from Adventures in Lollygagging. We got a bunch of other people here. They're gonna plug some stuff. So we'll say just do your plugs, refresh everybody on who you're playing really quick, and we'll come back around. So I'll start with Chuck again.
Okay. What do you who I am and who I'm playing? Is that what you wanted?
Plug whatever you want, and then say who you're playing.
I'm Chuck, Defenders of Cobalt. We play games on places on the internet. Check us out. Tonight, I'm playing Morthos the Mad, the human heart song junk mage. And I'm really looking forward to lighting something on fire.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen real quickly.
Yeah.
I think I got Joe and
I think our stuff is out of whack.
Stuff is out of whack. What happened?
Oh no.
Hey,
I'm Joe. And
my name.
Chuck is the only one.
All right.
I can't tell.
Go ahead, Dad. You talk.
Sorry, I interrupted, I think. So.
Or somebody.
Oh, well, I'm Dan then, and I'm playing the Vermissian Knight with too long of a name. So we'll just keep calling him Tarnished-Steel because it's shorter-ish. And I basically am just a damage sponge, I think. We'll find out.
What do you have for a shield? Like, what's your actual shield? Did you specify like what it looks like or anything?
I was going for one of those like big kind of like tower shield sort of things. Almost like kind of like a SWAT shield. You know, like a full body sort of thing.
Yeah, I was reading that some of them use like an actual like door from the or a panel from like the old trains or something.
Yeah,
like
that's kind of what I had in mind. It was just a big panel of metal.
Nice. Okay, so now Joe, let's get back into order as things are corrected.
All right. I'm Joe, also from the Defenders of Kobold. I run a D&D 5th edition game over there, and also I'm a player in some Zweihander stuff, or whatever random other things we're running. Tonight I'm playing Kethras, the Gnoll Deadwalker. And I'll see what other fun abilities they have tonight, I guess, now that we're getting into a big fight.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. We can still talk it out. Matt.
Hey, my name is Matt. I'm the guy from the Zweihander Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG, where we run Zweihander and Dark Astral and all kinds of other things. Tonight, I am playing Zerk Worthington, who is a Southern gentleman. He's the scout for this party, and he consumes the flesh of what he kills to gain their skills and knowledge.
Yep. Do you get any of that stuff permanently, or is it all just like session-based?
It's all session-based. Some of them are situational as well.
Yeah.
So I'll
Got
lose
the
them
hunger
after
that only hands can satisfy.
We were talking about that before you caught onto the voice, like how it's pretty cool how like you can kind of customize, like your character's always going to be useful, like regardless of which domain you go in, as long as you're eating stuff.
Yeah, right? Oh, that's a good point.
Pretty clever. And Melissa.
So I'm Melissa. I'm with Adventures in Lollygagging. So we've got a podcast that releases every Monday wherever you get podcasts. That's our A Call to Ruin campaign on Thursday nights. We are on twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG for our second Zweihander campaign on Twitch, which is our Ailing Isle campaign.
And it's ending this Thursday. Like we're done.
Yes.
Last
Oh.
guaranteed last Ailing Isle.
This one for sure. Because last week was going to be the last one.
I thought
so
it
this is
was, but they did some crazy stuff last week that managed to delay the inevitable. And so this week, you hear that? That is the sound of inevitability. And that's what this episode's going to be. And next week we'll start up the Unsettled Stem. So I'm looking forward to that one. That is 13th Warrior meets The Hills Have Eyes. So that's basically that.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good combo.
Yeah. All right, and then did you mention Mutant Year Zero? We're playing that on Fridays.
On Saturdays.
We're playing it on Friday this week, actually.
Friday this week, sometimes on Saturdays.
It's moving. It's moving a little bit. We have a nurse in our party, and so his schedule's crazy. So we meet whenever we can.
Yep. And tonight I am playing Duvesa, so I am a Heartsong Drow witch.
Okay. And will we get to see your true form tonight?
Maybe.
Have you figured out what your true form is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to that. All right, so let's see. Last week, what did we do last week? We started in the Thane, Temple of Sagacity. There was weird stuff happening to a variety of orators and professors and theologians and such who they believe that they had to always be arguing over something. Like that's the premise of their industry there, because if they ever stop arguing, if the discourse ever ends, something catastrophic is going to happen. But lately, a lot of the professors and stuff have been falling asleep, and when they fall asleep, they just lose control of everything, and they start wandering down this long tunnel in the direction of Sump Station. Their jaws get dislodged and strange. They start kind of drowning within their own bodies, and a lot of those bodies collapse along the way. So you all took that job because I said so, and down the delve you went. And along the way, you killed some stoners, some stoner sorcerers. See, that was pretty fun. Really, really easily. I was really surprised. There's a creepy Gnoll sorcerer lady somewhere out there in the world that might come back. Who knows? Let's see. What else did we do? And then when you made it to Sump Station, you went down this long corridor with all these doors to the left and the right, and you noticed that in this corridor there was somehow one of those professors managed to make it to the water, and that allowed them to kind of continue moving. There was stuff in the water around you, kind of grabbing at your ankles and things like that, but you followed them. You saw them kind of enter into a much larger expanse, this huge, huge room, at the center of which there was kind of a tower in which all sorts of different pipes and walkways and railings attached to. And you saw these strange-looking figures. They were humanoid, and they were wearing like necklaces, and there was this small little creature that was playing like a jack-in-the-box thing, and either it was causing lights on the bigger creature's head to start flickering, or it caused like sound to start emerging from this brass bell in their head. And they seemed to welcome that professor into their flock, led them across the walkways to the other side of the room, in which there is a huge pool of water, like a fairly large lake of some kind, and slowly the surface was broken, and you saw this large, let's call it a fish, emerge. It was part fish, part train car. And this was after they started throwing chum into the water, like heart chum into the water to get it up. And then the professor was like walking towards the mouth as it was slowly opening. And that's where we ended. So we're going to start right there. You all are currently up on a higher walkway. We'll say that you all are within ranged. So there's 3 different range bands in this game. There's melee, there's ranged, and there's like really distant range. I can't remember the specific phrase, but I will say you're within ranged. Your stealth, I think you probably all rolled stealth, and they didn't notice your presence just yet. But you can see them below. The professor figure, still dressed in kind of that toga that they're wearing, seems to be doing whatever it is they say. Periodically, there's you hear a cranking of a jack-in-the-box, and lights begin to flicker, and a low buzz of sound comes out of someone else's bell. There are 5 other figures that seem to be escorting the professor into the mouth of this great beast. What do you want to do?
I seem to recall our goal here is to try and save the professors and stuff. So perhaps not targeting him would be a good start.
Would be wise.
I was thinking about maybe making some seared barracuda or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I was maybe going to move down so I could block the path up to us.
Okay. So at this point, I mean, I would say any movement downwards is probably going to alert them to you. So if you're doing that, like you're probably going to be breaking stealth at that point.
Okay. Well, I'll wait for everybody else to be ready first then.
Okay.
Because I figure if they're going to come to us, I might as well make a little choke point there.
Sure.
So I guess I would want to ask the rest of you, like, should I cook this fish or should I take out that fucking evil little monkey with the wind-up box?
I feel like the wind-up box people are
Wind up box.
causing our issues.
Wind-up box? All right.
Well, so this scientist dude too is already watery, right?
You would presume that he probably has the same effect that you've seen before.
Okay. And to all of our knowledge already, there's no way to reverse that. Like, we've been totally unsuccessful with trying to help anyone that's already at that point.
Most everyone has died within like 10 minutes of them converting. So this is the first you've seen this far. You saw other bodies along the way that tried to make it, but this is the
Right.
first one that you've seen make it all the way to the water.
Okay.
I actually wanted to try to do my old blood, just to get a sense of his emotions, if there's anything there to even sense.
That's a good call.
Trying to read his aura.
Okay. Does that require a skill roll, or you just get the info?
Just when you observe someone for a few seconds, you can read their aura and discern their surface level emotions.
Okay, we'll say that since you've been following them, you can easily enough do that. There is a sense of calmness and serenity over them, but you also don't sense a great deal of complex thought.
So I'll share that information with the group that there's not a whole lot going on upstairs. He doesn't seem to mind what's happening.
He's blissfully ignorant.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna target that weird monkey thing, guys.
Okay, there's 5 of them. Just remember, there's 5 of those. So, give me a
I have
number.
a
I can
question
target one.
about entering the gray too. So it says I'm able to take people with me when I enter, and I can't be seen when I'm in it.
Yeah.
How am I able to enter it and then move over to someone and then pull them in with me?
No, I think you have to. It's like, I think it's the idea is you're bringing them in at the instant when you cast it or something like that. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Could I like cast it and be in it, go over to someone, cast it again to pull them in, or would I have to end it and then recast it to pull them in?
if it says that you can only use it once per situation, does it have any language like that? Some skills and abilities you can only use once per situation is why I ask.
This is a great track, by the way.
Yeah, I like this one. This is Absolution. Tabletop audio. It's good stuff.
I don't think the only thing that ever says on that is it takes 10 minutes, but then I have another thing that says it doesn't take any time.
Yeah,
It's
you have
instant.
that instant. So as long as it doesn't say you can't use it, you can only use it once per situation, that's fine. I do know that when other people try to leave the gray, when they leave the gray, they actually have to make a roll to leave it. You're fine. Like, Deadwalkers can come in and out, but other people trying to leave the gray have to do a check.
Would it be too metagaming to know if or is it a check that they have to actively make, or is it just like something that their body's being put through to see if they live?
I think it's like echo, so it's like whether or not their spirit has the ability to kind of come back into the material world.
Okay.
So it's not like a skill like they have to know how to do.
Okay.
Okay. So, who wants to do something? I know we have a couple of different theories, but at this point, someone's got to do something. All right, Chuck.
Yeah. If
Chuck,
he's
you-
ready to go, I'll move at the same time.
Fire.
I am
Okay.
also going to fire my heavy, what is it, heavy draw bow then. We'll
Yeah.
fire at the same time.
Okay. Dan, why don't you make an evade technology test as
Okay.
you start moving up, and when your heavy footfalls come across the walkway, all of them begin to turn just as Morthos begins to shoot whatever sort of fire down there as well. So remember
Is that
that
the right?
you can just do oh, you did it from the actual character sheet. You can hit the macro buttons too. It goes a little
Oh, that's right.
easier.
Yeah.
But
I forgot those were there.
so that's going to be that'll be a fail. So
Yep.
what that means, all that means doesn't mean you did what you wanted to do. Like, but one of them turned around and caught sight of you as you were coming, and before you could get your shield fully up, they flung something in your direction, and you'll go ahead and you'll take like 2 points of blood as a little blade cuts across your shoulder. Do you block all of that?
Yes.
Okay.
My armor says no thanks.
Okay. All right.
Which is okay. I mean, being seen and being targeted was sort of the goal, so.
Okay. And then Chuck, what were you doing? You're casting something.
Yes, I have my Fire of the Red King. My unarmed attacks gain ranged as I conjure flame on their clothing and bodies. So yeah, I just make an unarmed attack. And my unarmed attacks do a D6 stress rather than a D4.
Okay.
And then every subsequent attack or successive attack on the same target, it increases the die size. So what do I need to do to make an unarmed attack?
Kill, I would say kill technology or kill religion. Either one of those is probably fine.
I have...
Or a cult even.
Ooh, let's do a cult. So that would be... I got nothing in kill. I got 1 in a cult. So how does that... It's a...
Just roll standard. So hit the standard button, and then you bump in whatever your dice pool is. So you get 1 for base, and then you get 1 if you have the skill. You get another if you have the domain.
Okay.
So just add them up. That's
Cool.
the number you put in. Okay. So you manage, one of them just lights up completely. So did the spell have a damage that you did?
It's a D6.
Okay, so roll
stress.
So roll D6, and that's how much stress you'll inflict on one of them.
And I would go for like the centermost
Mm-hmm.
of these weird 3 stress.
All right. So as you see these are all wearing these grimy, gross, like kind of greenish robes with little signs of rust and dried blood, and you can see that a swath of it in the back just lights up and begins to just quickly burn their whole entire hood off, and the little thing that's strapped around its neck begins to whine faster. It's like an ice cream truck going on full tilt right now.
Oh man!
As they if they didn't notice all of you before when Tarnished Steel was running down the rafters, they are fully aware now. The professor, though, is still continuing this slow descent down this flight of stairs as the mouth of the large fish begins to very slowly open. Who's next? Remember, just shout out when you want to go, whenever you want to go. No initiative. You can go twice in a row. Doesn't matter. It's just every time you make a roll, there's a chance to take shots.
I'm gonna shoot my bow. Can I shoot my bow? But I want to target like his leg to incapacitate him and stop him from walking down the stairs.
trip
I
him
want
up.
to try
the professor?
to go get him.
Yeah, the professor.
Okay, I'll say make it a risky. I would say make it risky just because if you don't aim, if you hit the wrong part of the leg, suddenly blood everywhere. So I would probably call it a risky test.
All right, now I'm sorry. What were the domains? I have Cursed, Desolate, and Wild. Do any of those apply?
No, but kill does if you've got kill would as a skill would work here.
So dice pool would be 1 then, right?
Mm-hmm. Unless somebody wants to help you by like shouting out some kind of distraction or something.
Can I shout out?
I can always
Let me do
slam
something
my
else
shield
instead. What I wanted to try to do was enter the gray and get up to him and grab him into the gray
Okay.
instead of shooting him.
Matt, it's your call. If you want to let this go, you called it. So if you want it to go, if you want to fire the arrow, it's fine with me.
I kind of want to see what happens if it goes wrong.
All right, do it.
If you want to take
Roll
the
it.
shot, I'll help.
Let's not metagame it. Let's do it. I committed.
Do
That's
it.
fine.
Take stress.
help.
Risky.
Well,
Boom. 5.
all right, never
Fail.
mind.
Okay.
I kept saying I'll help, but
Fail. Give me some stress.
Okay, so then you'll take, let's see. You take close aim, and you're trying to get this perfect shot between these two cultists that are standing right next to each other. And as it flies down, you see just at the wrong time, one of the cultists' heads turns, and it's the one that has like a big trumpet coming out of their forehead, and your arrow just clinks right off of it. So you can go ahead and take 3 points of fortune stress as you just feel a little frustrated and unlucky. And then let me do a fallout check for you. Are you actually marking that, by the way?
Yes. Yeah, I'm marking it.
Okay. So look at your total amount of stress. So
Yeah.
what's your total?
3.
Okay, so if the roll is equal to or lower, you suffer fallout. If it's over, you're good. So you're fine. All right. Joe.
Chuck, was that the first time that you had done fire on this delve?
Yeah.
Okay, so it should have been mastery. I don't know what that does to the roll, but because of my omen from last time, it
Oh.
would be a roll with mastery.
We can do it next time.
Okay. He still rolled an 8 with no stress. You can roll a d10 if you want to try to get a crit. Like if you roll a 10, you'll get double stress. It's fine.
No. I appreciate the thing. But
I think it's kind of comes up automatically. So like if I have an omen, the first time it presents itself is sort of it just automatically happens.
All right.
Okay.
So Joe, you've been wanting to go into the gray. So
Yeah.
All right. So you're hopping into the gray. You're moving
Right.
down, and you're trying to grab him.
Yeah, my goal, I want to hop into it to get down there without being impeded by everyone and just try and suck him into
And then
it.
pop out and then suck him in. Let's make this an evade. And then what is it to get out of the gray? Is it cursed?
For anyone but me, it's delve plus religion.
Okay, so let's do evade religion because religion applies to them too.
Okay. Evade religion. I have evade, so that'd be 2d10 then, because you always get a d10 and then +1 for everything you have.
Yep.
So is that standard?
Standard's fine, yeah.
2.
Nice.
Success, no
Okay.
stress.
So
Okay.
all of you watch then as Kethras delves into you see this little split of smoke kind of appear, this gray smoke, and he just slides between it and disappears. And then that smoke, like Nightcrawler, just pops up down by the professor, and he yanks the professor right inside, and that smoke disappears once more. All of the cultists begin to like look around with great confusion. The big fish, the mouth continues to open a little bit, but then you start hearing, oddly enough, the sound of like train cars just going past at great speed over and over and over. And the cultists turn around and they begin kind of running up at this point towards you all as they're starting to descend upon you, confused now. One of them stays behind, is like sweeping through the water looking for where he might be. Who's next?
Unless somebody else has got some, I'm just gonna smack whichever one comes at me.
Okay.
Go for
So
it.
one of them is coming. We'll say one of them's coming right at you. What do you want to do with this? Do you want to actually attack him like with a kill shot? Like you actually want to do that? You can also do something like I've seen people do something like endure sometimes if you want to try to like hold back, like because you have a big shield and they're trying to charging at you, and you can kind of push them off the shield.
The idea I had was like keep them down in this area.
Okay.
So that since we have a lot of ranged people, I can keep them held at this platform.
Okay, so I think endure, and then you can do like tech would probably work because you're standing on top of a kind of a wire mesh walkway here.
Cool. Unfortunately, I do not have it endure despite the name. I will. There we go. That's all right.
Okay, so
Nice.
we'll say, what is your normal? Like, do you have any weapons that inflict stress, like in your equipment?
My shield is kill also.
Okay, so how much? Does it say?
D6.
Okay, so now basically you get to increase that die to a D8, and so roll a D8, and that's how much stress you'll inflict on this one charging up.
Dang. Oof,
Nice.
that's not bad.
And
Wow.
that'll
Good
be
stuff.
enough. Describe what happens, because he's out. Like that's enough for him.
I mean, I was thinking I'd just kind of like set it up, but hopefully if he's run into it, I'm pushing back at the same time, and maybe since he's the only one there, he just gets nailed.
Yeah. So he just gets nailed, and maybe he like rolls down slightly a little bit and like trips one behind him as they're kind of coming over. Duvesa, you want to do something?
I'm just gonna see how this plays out. I'm not really the combat oriented one. I can heal somebody if
Okay.
needed.
All right.
I want to pop over the rail,
Okay.
and I do want to try and light some fire at this fish.
Okay. Sure. So the fish you could do, you just do kill again, obviously. But then for
Yeah.
domains, you could do wild if you wanted to do wild for this. You said
Could I still do a cult, or do I need to do wild?
nah, a cult's fine. You can do a cult.
Okay,
I'll
because
take
I had.
Yeah, let it go. That's fine. A cult's
Okay,
good.
yeah. So that would be a 2.
All right.
And I failed, and I take stress.
All right.
No.
So let's roll some stress for you. So as you, it's like the lighter's not quite working. You're like, it's just not quite. And as you shoot out, it's just like a piddly bit of smoke comes out instead, and you feel performance anxiety. And so take 2 points of fortune as your confidence is a little shot.
Absolutely.
Did you actually mark stress?
I moved up to stress on fortune.
Okay, so let me roll a fallout check. Do you have 9 or more fallout or stress total?
No, I have 8.
Okay, then you just dodged
Ah,
a major fallout. It's coming
okay.
though. I can sense
All right.
it. All right, who else?
I'm gonna try and hop back to behind the shield wall and dump our scientist or professor dude
Okay,
back out.
so I'll roll his evade and religion.
Okay.
So
I don't have to make
Hopefully
a
he
check for
does
myself.
good at it.
No, you don't.
That's-
He does actually have religion, so
Oh,
Good.
nice.
He's got a chance.
he's got 2d10 on this roll then. He succeeds, but he takes stress. And he's been through a lot lately,
Uh-oh.
but he's all right. 2's not gonna
Sweet.
kill him or anything. But when he pops out, those of you that are behind Tarnished Steel, you can see that just like the others that you saw along the way, his jaw has been extended and dislodged, the lower jaw. You can see the teeth have begun to grow. His entire face has kind of started to distort in some fashion, and he seems to be choking. He's just in a constant state of choke. His eyes are this kind of milky white blue that they don't focus. Like you can't tell if they're looking at you or not. And it seems bewildered and disoriented and doesn't know what to do.
Can I try to do like a mend or something on him?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do amend occult. You can do.
Yeah, if that works, I've got both of those.
Okay, go for it.
I was gonna cut his throat, so you beat me to it.
I mean, that might still be an option.
Yeah,
It's never
slit his
not an
throat
option. It's always an
and
option.
then eat it. His throat. The whole thing.
I feel like
Ooh,
he's
nice
turning
roll.
into the fish man.
So as you reach down, the energy is kind of coursing through like your fingertips. You can see the face begin to start, the jaw like almost painfully begins to crack as it starts to recede back into the body, back into its normal position. Light begins to come back to his eyes, and he's still seeming to choke a bit, but he looks to be in less pain, still bewildered and confused, but you feel like that this is definitely the right track here. Okay, so these things are beginning to come up the railings even further. When you look down, the Barracuda's mouth has begun to open up entirely, and Morthos, since you were the one that was directly shooting directly at it, you expect to see things like teeth coming from this thing, but you don't. You instead see what looks like the side of a subway car, and there is a door right there in the mouth, opened up, and the door itself is closed, but there's all sorts of these blinking lights, and it's if it's like sort of waiting for someone to get inside. All right, still 4 of these cultists that are beginning to get closer and closer to you.
I don't want to get down there and check out that subway door.
I know. I think we'll have to knock these other 4 guys out first. So
All right.
Is there a
Oh.
good way for me to jump down there bypassing the 4 dudes?
Of course, there's a way. It's going.
Then I take that way.
We'll go ahead and we'll say evade. We'll do an evade, and I'll want tech for this because it's all sorts of metal machinery and
Who
Okay.
needs
You're
to be
swinging
possessed
from.
to jump in this? Just get curious.
Yeah. I have
Uh,
neither evade or tech, so my pool is 1.
okay.
That's it.
Well,
it
That's
worked out.
Beautiful.
All you need is
Nice.
one.
Wow.
Yeah. And as if you just you know everything about electrical cables now, you start shimmying down a pole, and then you grab a cable and just do like a whole Indiana Jones type swing.
Oh, wow.
And you're down right in front of this Barracuda. You've bypassed the other 4 cultists that are climbing up the walkway. They don't even look at you as you go past. They seem to be too intent on trying to get past Tarnished-Steel-Endures. Who's next?
I'm gonna do an attack with Grim Reaper on whoever's nearest of those cultists.
So there's one that just stumbled and got back up and is about to come in contact with Tarnished Steel. So that's the closest.
Okay. So it's kill. Since this is with my my spirit thing, would this be kill religion?
Kill religion's fine for these.
Okay. I will do that then. 7 success with stress.
All right. So let me go ahead and roll that for you. So as oh geez, oh it's terrible.
That's disappointing.
So sad. I know this is tier 1, but come on. So you go ahead and as you make contact, you can see that they manage to reach just barely past Tarnished-Steel-Endures and kind of reach and grab onto your hand just ever so briefly. You can feel this strange burning sensation, and when you look down, it's like your skin has just suffered like hot water being poured on top of it. And so take 1 point of blood.
Ouch.
Oh, I can mitigate that for him.
Please do.
Which means I
In this
won't have to
case.
roll for Fallout then, if he's not marking
Since he's next to me.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
Thankfully.
That is fantastic.
And so roll your damage. How much damage does your Grim Reaper thing do?
It is a D8.
Okay, roll your D8.
Nice.
Ooh.
So that one is still standing. It was a slap
All
fight
right.
between the two of you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try and hit it with my bow.
All right, do it. So you kind of step off to the side a little bit to get a better angle, kill, and then tech, religion, either one of those is fine. Is it
I have
lagging?
none of those.
Oh, okay.
No, I just don't have any of those. All right.
Okay.
Give me that stress.
All right, so what do we want to do this time? All right, so as you take a step back, you pull back on your bow and you release, but when your elbow comes back, you hit. You don't notice that there was a valve, and you manage to just turn it just a little bit, and a huge gust of steam just bursts out behind you and gets into the back of your hair. So go ahead and take 3 points of blood.
Cannot save you from that.
And then,
It's all good.
Go ahead and roll your stress, and then we'll check your fallout in a sec. So, what weapon die?
D8 for damage.
And that will be enough. So as Kethras backs away, and Tarnished Steel shoves him back once more, and he stumbles a bit, gives you the perfect opening to take the shot, and the arrow just goes in and out the neck, and it just kind of flops down to the ground. You see that little creature that's on the necklace running the Jack-in-the-Box has no legs and begins to like slowly crawl and then hop down into the water, like this long drop into the water, plunk.
Somebody stop it.
How is your stress looking? What's your total stress there, Zerk?
4.
4? Okay, you're good then. I'm gonna get somebody one of these days.
I know. I'll
gonna
set you up
happen.
here. I was seeing
Yes.
that they're getting a little grabby. I might go ahead and try and knock another one down, but I want to try and make sure I get that box.
Okay. So, do you want to actually go for the body that has the box right now, or do you want to actually knock the next one that's coming up the walkway at you?
I'll keep whoever is close to me at the moment.
Okay. So
If he doesn't have a box on him, then I'm just gonna push.
they
him
all
back.
do. All of them. So all of them are like they're humanoid. They have these big cult robes. They have all sorts of like rivets in their arms where blood is seeped out, and they've got this like sewage coated coats. But then they have those necklaces where some strange creature with like no legs is just playing like a Jack-in-the-Box that controls something. So there's like two
I
things.
kind of want to specifically like crush that down.
Okay. So you could roll kill if you want. If you want to just like lunge out with since your shield does that as well.
Yep.
So kill tech or kill religion.
I will kill tech that up. Oof.
Oh,
And
no.
not do so well.
Okay. So we'll say as you lunge forward, it's impossible for this giant thing to not hit this small thing. And so you hear like a toy suddenly go off like as you pull back, you see that the Jack in the Box is certainly crushed, but it doesn't seem as though the big figure has taken any damage from it. So go ahead and take 3 points of fortune stress, as it was just bad luck.
Yep. I take 2 from that. So
Okay, so let me roll your check. 8. Where's your stress at?
2. I'm all right so far.
Okay, so you're good. All right. Who's next?
Does this subway door, you said it's like got controller or something next to it?
There looks to be like a little panel off to the right. Like there's the door and then the panel on the frame.
I want to pull out one of my pistols.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just blast that fucking panel.
No problem. So you pull it out, fire, and you hear like the pneumatic as they begin to open.
Oh, what do I see?
It's not so much what you see, it's what you smell, as a waft of everything foul you could ever imagine. A mix of kerosene, of guts and vomit. It's like the morning after a really bad bender at the worst kind of pub you can think of. And then you can see it's almost like there's a long and dark tunnel with occasional flickering lights. It does not look like the innards of an actual fish. You see no ridge of the mouth. You see no teeth. You see no tongue. You just see like metallic framing and then darkness.
That's weird. Just one real quick question.
Sure.
This foul nastiness that's coming out, does it smell flammable?
I mean, it smells like kerosene, so yeah.
Oh, man.
Light it up.
I want to light it on fire.
Okay.
What else is there to do?
That's all there is to do.
So what I'll say is this is going to happen no matter what, but let's go ahead and let's roll an evade test to see if you can light it up without getting caught in it at the same time.
We know this answer. All right.
So
Evade.
I would say
or just evade.
I think tech makes sense because it's kerosene and it's a machine. Warren because it's kind of a cramped corridor that you're shooting down.
Great. I don't have any of those, so I'll just roll my one.
Sorry, Chuck.
Oh no.
Fail and take stress. Here's your chance.
Okay.
Do it.
So as you shoot your little shot of fire down the throat of this thing, you can see as a column of fire, almost like a fireball, just begins to start forming and moving down. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a blowback as like your clothes get singed. If you have any facial hair, you can start feeling it. And so what's your damage die for that spell again?
It's a D6.
It says let's roll a d6.
Okay.
And I rolled a 1, so you're fine. So it's 1 blood damage.
Oh, I got
That's not terrible.
1 protection from blood, so I
You're
don't
fine.
think.
That worked
You're
out.
fine. It worked
Nice.
out well.
There you go.
And as you look down there, you can see that fire disappeared for a really long time. And you start looking at, you look at the Barracuda itself. You look at how far it went. You're like, the math's not adding up there.
Oh man.
Okay. So there's still 3 more, one of whom has already taken a shot and is not looking too great, that are up on the walkways with you all.
While this is going on, I'm healing again.
Okay, roll another mend.
Can I reach the one that I killed with my arrow?
Sure, I don't see why not.
Can I use my knife to cut off the softest piece of it, and I want to eat it.
The tastiest part.
The
So-
tastiest part. Well, it's inorganic, isn't it? I can eat anything, it says, but
So you sneak up behind Tarnished Steel and you
Mhm.
reach and get whatever you can and just sort of snatch off, a chunk of a leg. or a
yeah,
thigh
I'll
or
start
something.
gnawing on it.
And it's not the tastiest morsel in the world, but you can get let's see, hang on, sorry, wrong one. You can get religion. You can get tech as your domains.
Instead, what I'm going to do, so I have monstrous appetite. When you use the red feast to consume a resource that has a domain you can access, Remove stress from blood or echo equal to the amount rolled on the dice instead. It doesn't say what die to roll. I guess you roll it, whatever I'd get it at.
Say it again.
Would it?
When you use the red feast to consume a resource that has a domain you can access, remove stress from blood or echo equal to the amount rolled on the dice instead.
So if you're gonna normally do like an attack, that's what, D6 or something? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So I would say you'd probably roll a D6. And...
Roll a D6. So I'll get this back off of my blood instead of gaining the domain.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna get rid of all that blood damage I took.
Okay. Nice. All right. And so they continue with this, like as the others see you starting to eat their good friend Jerry, they're gonna start pushing even further against Tarnished-Steel's big shield right now.
Yeah.
They just can't. They can't get past you. They just can't.
I figured it's like a subway train door with a little window in it, so I can still see.
Yeah. All right.
I'm willing to push back again.
Okay, go for it.
So I still want to get that guy in his little Jack in the Box.
Okay. Same roll as last time. It's good.
Yep. I wanna know what happens when I crush the box.
And this one, it doesn't really matter which roll. This one's going to be dead no matter what. So, because they only had 1 health, 1 resistance left. And so as you lunge forward with the shield, you can see the little tiny creature just gets smushed and pancaked against the larger figure. And you notice that larger figure stumbles backwards a bit and then kind of falls off the railing into the water. But the partially smashed Jack in the Box catches on a little hook, like a little piece of the railing that was bent, and it kind of is dangling there, ready for you to pick up.
I'll tell him to have a taste of that.
All right. Who else?
I assume it's a different creature, so.
I want to move up and
2
make
left.
a stab on one of the ones that's there.
Okay. So you push past Tarnished, and
Mhm.
you want to take a shot.
Yep.
Kill, religion,
I
or
have
tech.
a ritual blade. I'll use that. You said kill, religion, tech.
Mhm.
Sweet. I have all of those. Crit success.
And so, what's the normal stress die that your blade would do?
D6.
Okay, so then roll a D8, and that's how much damage you'll do to it.
7.
And you slaughtered this thing in
nice.
1 shot. Describe that for us.
It's a ritual blade, so I imagine he backhands it and just runs by him and tries to slice him through the neck.
Okay. And there's one left that is beginning to do some calculus in their head, and begins to slowly back down the
Numbers.
walkway away from you all. Turns around and sees there's Morthos the Mad, who has just lit a giant fireball and given this big fish the worst case of indigestion that they've had. What do you want to do?
I want to grab him.
Do it. So you
What
reach
do I
out,
need to do?
you grab him. This is going to be pretty easy. So you could do. What do you want to do with him? You want to grab him?
Throw him into the fish.
I'm throwing him into the fish.
Toss to the fish.
Okay. So you could do. I guess we could just make it a kill. We could do. We could do compel. Compel is like make people do what you want. I think that's more mine, but that works here. Like you're.
Okay.
forcing
I don't
them.
have either of those, so
So let's make it a kill.
Can I assist him on that?
Sure. So the two.
As-
So you rush past the one that you just killed deftly, like a Legolas thing, and then the two of you grab him and go to throw him into this big old fish mouth. So go ahead and roll kill plus tech or what was I saying? Tech or religion, and then get your assist die. So.
so that the assist die is an extra.
Yeah. So just roll like 2d10 or so.
Yeah.
Okay. The two
There
of
we
you
go.
chuck him into the mouth, and you see right as you do, like the first episode of Mandalorian, the doors just shut and just bifurcate him in half, and you see the legs just begin to shake a little bit, and then finally stop.
Oh no, that's not a good door to go through.
But then the door opens once more, and you can see that he is completely and utterly dead.
Oh man, he
Well-
wasn't the one I wanted.
No. Well, Zerk, you want to give a taste of this little music
Maybe.
box, man?
I sure do. Get down, pull out my hunting knife, and cut off a piece of it.
So if you're gonna eat him, and if you want the remains, you want to eat the little guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
He's
eat
really
a piece of
small. Yeah. Okay, it's like a mouche boost. You just take a little tiny little hors
it. Yeah, just a sample.
Cursed and occult are the domains this has.
Cursed and occult. Do I have either of those? I don't have occult, so I'll grab that for the session.
Good.
There we go.
So
Makes
And
it
my
worth
heal,
it.
my heal.
Your
oh,
heal
my
went
back was a
through,
success.
and the professor flops down and appears to slowly gaining some sort of semblance of like consciousness, blinking, and is spouting off questions. Who are you? Where am I? What is going on? The usual things you would imagine.
I'm gonna shush him for a second, just like. Shh.
How dare you?
But to the rest of it, like, were we hired to bring him back, or were we just hired to find out what was going on?
We were hired to protect them. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I want to
Yeah.
eat it.
I think they wanted us to stop them from dying.
I block
so
you
I
away
imagine,
from him.
I'm inferring that they want this guy to come back alive.
I was just saying, it'd be really.
Not explicitly, but by extension.
We could just
Yeah.
say we didn't get here. I'm really curious to see what happens when we toss him in this fish.
I am, but less curious than I am willing for him to die.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
now that he's back and like sane again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's gonna get shuddered again, kind of like your friend you just threw.
Yeah, he's no longer the
We don't
the
know that.
criteria.
Maybe, I don't know. Listen, I'll tell you what. I'll rock paper scissors you for him.
How about you
This
ask
is
him what he
rock,
wants to
paper.
do now that he's
He's standing
Oh,
there listening.
Right.
What's going
Hey,
on?
hey there, smart guy.
I am very intelligent. Yes.
Yes, I'd like to throw you in that giant fish's mouth. Are you cool with that?
I know.
And I would like to taste your flesh.
I was, and he's starting to think about it. I did feel a desire to go in there, but that
You should-
desire has abated.
It's
Good call.
not as bad as you think. Like, I saw the last guy who went in there, and he was mostly somewhat okay. A little.
I have a compromise. What if
Okay.
we go back up, find one of these other watery people, and chuck that one in through the door?
One of the dead ones.
Yeah.
mean,
That's,
or-
that's
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, all right. We don't have to throw him in. Just tossing a dead one in doesn't sound as exciting.
You can roll a compel and try to get him and try to talk him into doing this if you like.
I don't want to let him do
I'm
it
not
though.
going to.
All right.
I'll let the voice of reason win through this one.
He does express, like, as he starts to get his faculties back, he does start to express a bit of curiosity as he starts looking at the creature, which is just absolutely strange to look at. It's part fish. Where you think there should be fish parts, there's train parts. Where you think there should be train parts, there's fish parts. It's a beguiling mess.
Yeah,
Does
man.
it seem to have any like awareness? Is it like moving eyes to track us or anything, or is it just sitting there?
So who's down there looking at it?
I was gonna go look at it too because I got some
Yeah, I
interests
imagine we're all
as
kind
well.
of collecting down there.
And if the
what
guy's
with it
showing
being a subway.
interest, I'll definitely like, dude, come check this out. You'll never believe. Like, you look inside, and it's like it goes on forever.
He does go down there. He's an academic. He's
I'm
very
gonna hold my
curious.
shield out in front of him. to
I'm just
keep him from
imagining sort
falling
of
in.
like you're standing next to each other in the edge of the pool. You're like, no.
Now,
Good.
who had that one where you had to kick someone off something tall?
I do.
Oh, did you end up taking that?
No, I don't have it for this session.
Okay, next time.
That's the 300 one. You kick him into a big hole.
Something curious does actually happen when you get close. Tarnished, you see that a little panel that's above the door, like a stretch panel, almost like a bus telling you which direction it's going or something like that.
Mhm.
And it says approved for like VIP boarding. And then you like kind of step away, and somebody else comes up, and it doesn't do that. But then when you come up, every time you approach, like when you get within the radius of like an automated door, you see
Oh
like
my.
VIP boarding for you.
Does it? It doesn't do that for me.
What's you're human, right?
Yeah.
No.
God, I have never
Oh,
been
really?
more disappointed
Oh.
my entire life.
Sorry, Chuck.
So I'm a human as well. It doesn't say that either?
No. And I would say you're all smart enough to realize that because you've got 2 humans, a gnoll, a drow, and an Aelfir, so a high elf basically. That when the high elf gets actually close, that's when the triggering mechanism happens.
And
All
what's
right.
this dude? Does the
He's
dude
drow.
does?
The
Oh,
professor's
so
a
when he
drow.
moves up, does it?
Doesn't do anything. Same thing with Duvesa. Duvesa is also a drow. So the 2 of them, it's just the Aelfir.
All right. Well,
we're
you
most
guys
of-
want me to be adventurous?
Do we know the race
I-
of most of the people that have been all watery?
Drow is probably the
Oh.
most common. Human would be the second most common.
Okay. And can we find what the race of the cultists were?
You start digging through them to try to roll a discern. It's not
All right.
not abundantly clear. You can roll
Sure.
a discern.
It's just a soupy mess
Discern
under those
religion?
hoods.
I'll take religion. That's fine.
Okay.
It's a big soupy mess. Was that you right there? Okay. So
Zestic stress.
as you start going through the remaining bodies that you can find, peeling apart like their clothing, you realize there's all sorts of grafts of metal. There's an absurd amount of like rivets, these heavy like iron nails that have been hammered into the joints, and these horrible wounds. You start to peel away the parts of the head, like because like they're from their eyes upward is blocked by these large reflective lights or these huge brass trumpets. You don't notice any clear signs of elvish, so no pointy ears or anything like that. You would guess human, and as maybe you turn around to pull someone out, one of them, the one that you were looking at, reaches out and grabs you once more. The last bits of life coming through them, but misses you and grabs like one of your bags and just does that same boiling burn, and you're gonna take some supplies stress.
Oh, what an
As
asshole.
You take 4 supply stress as he just manages to burn up like some of your rations or something like
Oh my
that,
gosh.
and then falls inert.
Ugh.
What a dick.
Cultist slurry.
It's the most damage I've taken yet.
Let me do a fallout check.
You got this, Jeff.
Oh no, that might be it.
Ah,
I'm at 9.
Yes!
Yep. Oh, that's it. Oh,
There
no.
we go. So
First
fallout, first
fallout.
one. So if the roll is equal to or
Oh.
lower than your total stress, which this is, you suffer fallout. And because the roll was 7 or higher, you're going to suffer
Major.
a major fallout.
No.
Now,
Ooh.
generally,
Awesome.
what you do with fallout is that you pick from the category that you took the stress that pushed you over. So in this case, it's supplies. So I put the list up on there if you want to look at it too, but we'll take a look. And there's no like random rolling. You literally just talk it out and figure out. So I would say
okay.
this one's pretty easy. Like we can do, we'll do damaged. So some kind of resources you're carrying is defective in some way, so it managed to get burnt and singed, and you're going to reduce its dice size by 1. That's minor. Never mind. We're in major, aren't we?
ooh.
I was like, that's weak. That's nothing. That's nothing. Where's
He
my
loses his shield.
His pinky finger melts off.
I don't see major supplies.
I don't either.
I don't see
Check
it
the
either.
book.
I will check the book first. This is the first time we've gotten to do Fallout, so. Yeah.
Well, while you're looking at the book, Dan, I have
Happy to be a learning experience.
never wanted you to walk through a door more in my life than I do right now.
Push him through.
Yeah.
Push him through.
I might just go willingly.
Yeah, I'm not going to push you through. I'm not going to be,
That guy.
that guy, but I'll definitely excitedly, gleefully prance a little bit while you get ready to walk through.
I am gonna
Page 86.
Yeah, I got it.
do a little checking on it before I go through it, but I'll wait here.
What kind of resources you got on you, Joe?
What resources do I have on me?
Yeah.
I have a bag of interesting teeth.
Oh, are you a dentist?
Anything else?
No. I have a D8 of drug stuffs from the stoners.
So we'll say that the bag of interesting teeth. What kind of resource is that?
D6 desolate.
All right. So 1 to 3, we'll do the D6 one. All right. So the D6 one. So the bag of interesting teeth is what he reached out and grabbed and managed to just boil instantaneously, and the teeth. The whatever pouch was holding it is dissolved, and the teeth go clinking into the water and sink down, and it's gone. So
Now it's a whole of less interesting teeth.
you don't have it at all. It's gone now. That's it. That's all it was. Okay, that was fun. That was
I like
And-
those teeth. They were very interesting.
You wipe out that stress category now too, don't you?
Yes. So any stress that you had, actually, since it's major fallout that you took, you clear all stress.
Ooh,
Ooh,
even
really?
better.
Wow.
Yep.
That
Honestly,
was
that's not
worth
such a
that
expensive way to
resource,
do it.
honest.
Yeah.
Not that bad in this
Okay.
case.
A little
All right, Dan, get
disappointing.
through that door.
I imagine
Supplies-
it's kind of a gamble, though.
Supplies didn't. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
there's only 3 options for supplies. Like it's either so. The blood.
Well, that's kind of what
and the
you
mind and
use
the echo.
supplies for, anyways. Too
Yeah.
is
Yep, works out.
Recovery.
It'll get worse. Okay, so you've got. So you're still at this landmark, Sump Station. You've got the central tower. You've got the main quarter that had those rooms when you first entered, and now you've got this doorway going into a fish.
I was going to, I think, see what happens if I go through the door. I'm gonna kind of do something really like some small stuff first. I want to see if I can get like a metal rod, like from the railing or something, and stick that through the door first.
As you do,
Yeah.
every time it's fine, but every time you get close, that same sort of like welcome.
And then I'm
VIP
gonna kind
member.
of like stick a less useful finger out there.
Okay. So you put your pinky in, nothing happens.
Yeah. All right, and then
Jump.
I'm just gonna.
So
Oh
you-
my gosh.
So you jump in, and as you jump in, it's fine. The lights blink up, and it's like follow the yellow lights to find VIP seating.
I'm
Alright.
so jealous right now.
We're also like looking through the windows, sad.
I'm gonna follow. Are the yellow lights on?
Yeah.
So the lights don't turn on when anyone else goes through. Like the door is open.
The door's
and
open.
then-
Yeah.
I broke the door.
Yeah, you did break the door.
I'll go.
I would say you'd
I'll go-
probably conclude that the door bifurcating him like that is less about design and more about it's probably just a slight bit of malfunction from Morthos shooting the panel.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So we can. So the door won't close on us.
Maybe.
I will leave it
Are there
to
any,
you to prove
are there
that
any
theory.
bodies nearby?
Here's
I can
the-
just
yeah, you
grab and chuck through the doorway.
There's a couple, yeah. So you
I
start
want the one that fucked with my teeth. I want to
Okay.
take him and
so you chuck him in,
Yeah.
and this time it doesn't seem to close. It's fine. He just
Oh my
flops
God.
down in there.
I am so in that door.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
so
going
something
in
we
also.
could do is take some stuff and jam it in, so in case the door tries to shut, it'll have
Trust
something.
me on this one. That's more work than what it's worth.
All right.
There's
Okay.
5 of us. There's plenty of
I'm
spares.
leaping through.
Technically 6, because we have a professor that we need to figure out
Oh,
what
that's
we're doing
right.
with.
He's
Oh,
come
throw him
along.
through.
He
Yeah,
is
throw him
he is quite literally like going around just like taking notes about things and just like mumbling to himself in an absent-minded.
Professor, you're next.
Oh, okay. And he goes in and it closes on him. He's dead. No, he's fine. He goes in and he starts looking at it and he starts tracking. He starts spouting out like all these different references to Vermissian tech and how this is definitely this is definitely something that would have appeared. It's very confusing. This makes like where would this have come from? This is odd. Like, well, then again, this is a station, and but it's not a train station. So he's mumbling to himself.
I 100%
I'm actually
ignore all
interested.
that he's saying.
Okay.
And I just get in there because I want to Yeah.
It's
for red.
Professor S.
Wrong.
Hurt.
Oh, it's
I'm
red
interested.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, red shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think Matt and I are like elbowing each other to get through the door first.
yeah. Like, get out of the way.
Go me.
You pop inside and you're in what looks to be a train car, except your ankles are sinking down into a slight residue from the explosion. Like you're seeing, like when the fire came down there's stuff still dripping down here and there. You smell smells a little like that same kerosene smell that you scented before. As you continue to travel, you walk basically the length of the fish, and you think you would probably be in the tail, and then you see another door, like at the other side of the train car.
Where's Tarnished Steel survives or endures?
He's getting a martini in the VIP lounge.
I want to follow him to the VIP.
Yeah.
Like that would be my goal in this. Like I am trying to follow Tarnished Steel so I can get to that VIP section.
Don't worry,
I don't feel
I
like
had all the
going
drinks
through
already.
any doors near the back end of a fish, so I'm gonna stay in here.
Yeah, I'm just fast tracking on my
Okay.
yellow lights here.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Tarnished Steel.
Hey Poison. You're gonna follow. So you're going back, Dan? Did I hear that right?
Yep, I'm
So-
gonna follow wherever the yellow lights take me.
So the lights, like they're blinking, you follow, and they go up right to the same door. You see that same image show up. The door opens up for you. You follow the tracking lights, and they begin to take this sudden and immediate turn downward. And as you peek down, you realize you're at the edge of some kind of fleshy cliff. And when you look down, you can see all of these yellow running lights going down the interior of like a throat.
Oh, I feel like this is less of a good place to be now. I don't think there's drinks at the end of this.
I don't agree with that.
Shoot fire! Shoot fire!
I don't know.
shoot
Do we
fire
smell
down
the
there.
kerosene again?
It's too late. I shoot fire down.
Fire goes down, and you see it light up, and eventually it hits at the very bottom what looks to be another train car, probably about 100 feet down.
Oh.
Oh.
And I would say if you want to continue any further, we're going to start a new delve.
Oh my.
Yes.
Yeah.
let's
do
do
we
it.
need to
Tier two?
backtrack and come back, or are we just all in on?
I want to drop scientist dude off.
I want to eat him.
No,
I want to talk
scientist dude.
to him a little bit because we don't really have a good kind of understanding of what's initiating these changes.
Right.
He doesn't.
I have a solution for all of us. Now,
Okay.
just listen. Joe, you're out of luck. Scientist dude doesn't want to come with you. He wants to see things. He wants us to show him a world,
Right.
A whole new world. I don't
yeah,
remember
I was
anymore of that
going there.
Aladdin song.
That's where I was gonna go with it too.
And then,
Never had a friend like somebody.
yeah,
100,000 things to see.
Never had a friend like
the-
Steel.
the science dude Duvesa, you can talk to him while we walk, and then when he eventually dies, then
Zerk can eat him.
Zerk can eat him.
Yeah.
It's everything we all wanted except for Joe.
Hey, Joe's
Thanks,
still
Poison.
great. He's
Yep.
just not winning this argument.
That's fine.
All right, let's do it.
You all tell me. So we're starting a
Yes.
new delve.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Science Guy is coming with us.
Science
Yes.
guy
For
is
now.
coming.
Yes.
What's his name? Science guy. What's your name?
My name is Professor Ava.
Beekman. Nope, it's Beekman now.
It's Professor Beekman.
There you go.
It's pronounced
All right,
just like
Beekman.
that.
Beak
With a
man.
big old
Accent
space
on the
in between.
man.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have a large rat assistant in your lab?
It's got there's a silent H as well in there somewhere.
okay.
An apostrophe
Oh, God.
between the beak and man.
BHEAK. I think that's what it is. Professor
Yeah.
Beekman. No, he's certainly curious. He's like, it is.
Let's go.
With you protecting me along the way, I'm sure I can learn many fascinating things. You will protect me, right?
That is what we're doing.
Yeah, yes.
I'll smile with my
Some
blood
more than
stained teeth.
others.
Yes, I'll protect you.
Yeah,
What's he writing in his book?
He doesn't actually have a book. He was taking. He was just like talking to himself.
Oh, what he's taking.
He's a mental note taker.
He didn't have a
I'm trying
book.
to figure out from him kind of where this started. Like, what's the last thing he remembers?
He remembers there is a argument going on about what is better to like what kind of what's it called? Those like work animal is better. Like is an oxen better, or is just like maybe 2 horses? And like there was this huge 3-day argument going on in the forums about what was the better work animal, and he fell asleep after like a day.
Oh, do I overhear this conversation?
Sure.
I would like to definitely interject and let him know that oxen is a maybe answer. Horses are a no answer because those fuckers are evil, and it's really hard enough to carry enough silver to keep horses away. So the true answer is mules because they're horses with all the evil bred out of them. And then with that, I'll continue down.
You've blown his mind.
He's just staring dumbfounded at you, like, I wouldn't have thought he would have. That's such a wonderful answer. You should be a rhetorician. Okay, so we're starting a new delve then.
Now we've given him inspiration to go back home.
That's it.
So
Delve,
you are
maybe
faced.
delve.
You're faced with a very, about 100 feet or so cliff, and then you can see the running lights periodically. Whenever tarnished steel is near the edge, you can the lights will go down, and then they'll go up, and they're running, they're chasing, and then they come up again.
Yeah.
And
I'll stand there for a second so we can
Okay.
try and piece together any way for us to move down it safely.
And when you look down, you can see that there's these little, like, pustules, like little boils on the side of the throat that are kind of pulsating a bit. These kind of greenish pustules. But yeah, this is the first check. So how are we getting down?
Oh boy. If only I
Mm.
had taken that thing that lets me fall really far safely.
I want to.
So if-
Dead.
If we're about to start a delve, I can do another Crimson Mirror before we start.
Go for it.
That might be good.
And one thing that I wanted to check real quick had to do with so I have a Physicker's bag,
Okay.
which is a D6 mend blood. If anybody needs some healing before we move on for blood.
Anybody need blood
For blood? Nope.
resistance?
I'm good on blood.
I am also good.
Okay.
I'm at 0.
And Joe just cleaned up. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I will do my Crimson Mirror then.
All right.
So first I need to do a Discern Occult.
Go for it.
So that's going to be... And I failed, so never mind. We get no omens.
Okay.
Oh dang. That's
And I take
painful.
stress.
Okay. So take 3 points of mind stress as the images come too rapid and fast for you to discern, and you just start kind of twitching a little bit. Maybe a bit of your true form almost releases, but then you manage to keep it back just enough. So
I'm gonna use my... What am I using here? I'm gonna allocate that to Echo instead.
okay.
Using my In the Blood.
Okay.
But I did take 2 stress to Echo.
So I do have to roll that. So do you have 9 or...
Fewer. I have 7.
All right, you're fine.
It's close.
All right. So who wants to get... How are we getting down?
Slide down your shield to tarnish steel.
I know that's honestly kind of a thought I had is shield first. Is it like a slope or is it actually like a cliff?
We'll say there's a very steep angle.
Okay, I'm not
It's
sure. that I'm
not a
quite gonna be
perfect like
sliding
90
it.
degree. We'll put it at like maybe an 80
You
or
said it's-
something. Or whatever.
You said it's fleshy?
It's fleshy. Yeah.
Are there
Actually,
any remains
pustules.
of the subway
How-
structure poking through the flesh?
You can
I was
see
curious if
where
there's,
the
like,
running
seats.
lights. You can see where the running lights are going down. That there is metallic structure like that's keeping them in place. It's the same thing that you saw in the car. It's just you don't see the wall of the train. It's just now they're adhering to
Okay.
the wall of the fish, the throat.
So that the pustules might be our best.
Does any of this go
You
up
know.
like
We-
above us, like to the sides or anything in this cliff?
The ceiling's probably about maybe 10 feet tall. Just like you look
Basically,
up,
I want to find a spot where I could put my dagger through this fleshy stuff and see how much resistance I get.
Yeah,
and if I could use
you stab into it, and it's definitely it definitely gives. But when you stab into it, you get this scent that starts to emit, almost like a gas from from within it. So it's like that kerosene smell.
Oh no!
Be wary of your fire usage in here. I was kind of wondering also if you could like stab something into it and use that to slow your descent, maybe.
That's exactly what I was thinking of doing.
Yeah.
I
want to go for that. I'm just gonna be like, see you at the bottom, and jump over and just try and
YOLO.
ride my knife all the way down.
Okay, very nice. So let's do. I mean, we can just make that a delve. Yeah, just make it a delve. Delve, and then you can choose wild, since you're going down flesh.
Okay. I do not have wild, but I do have delve.
Okay.
So I'll do standard 2.
Okay.
Oh no.
So you see as he stabs into the side, and a gust of that kerosene comes out, and as he begins to slide, more and more of it starts flying out in his face, and eventually you just let go and you watch as Kethras falls like a good 50 feet down.
Oh no.
And you could take 3 points of blood stress as you land with a great deal of a racket, and you can hear the clattering of some of your equipment flying around.
That's not god awful, at least.
Good news is that you made it down. Bad news is that you not succeeded to take any resistance away from the delve.
All right. Well, I'll make an attempt to go down next.
Okay.
I'm kind of gonna just use the pustules, but also I might kind of use my shield to kind of
Hang on.
slide on the wall.
Before you use these pustules,
Yeah.
is there one within arm's reach?
Yeah, sure.
I want to walk up and I want to slap it.
Okay.
Oh.
You slap it, and you see like this some kind of green yellow acid just expends out from it.
Ew.
Oh.
You see it land on Tarnished Steel's shield, and you can hear tss as it's
Oh.
Okay.
Man.
Well, then I don't want to use those either, do I? So there's not really any great way to get down there.
Can I look around?
What are
the
you
subway?
waiting for?
Can I look around this subway area to
It's
find
fine.
like a steel pipe or like even a short scrap of metal that I
There
can
are a
hold on to?
variety of like the hold poles that you have, like when you get on a bus or a
Yep.
subway. There's
Yeah.
some of those. Don't forget that you all have supplies resistance, and so supplies resistance is like super abstract, and so it just means that's things like food, rope, lantern oil, stuff like that. So you can always say something like, I want to take some supplies resistance to be able to use this, or
Oh.
you can say I have it. Like, as long as it's reasonable, it's a reasonable thing.
okay.
I would
So-
definitely let
we could supplies resistance some rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll say you dig through your things, you find some rope. You can kind of tie it to a place that seems sturdy enough.
Yeah.
And try to start climbing down. It's not going to get you all the way down, but it'll get you close enough that where if you fall, it probably won't hurt.
All right.
Yeah,
So
let's do
that.
that.
go ahead and roll. I'll say one person can lead this, and then we can get. We'll say one person can do the climbing, one person can hold the rope, so we'll get one assist die. So we'll do delve.
I'll be at the bottom to catch.
I was gonna say I was tempted to go to the bottom to catch, so maybe if people take blood, I can mitigate it if it would work that way.
I'll say delve. We'll do wild, and then I'll allow two assist die.
I'll
can
start
assist
climbing down.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll hold
Okay.
if we want then, because I have delve.
Okay.
I have wild.
I just have delve.
I have none of that.
So how many? What's my pool? I got one on delve and nothing else.
One on delve, one on delve, one base, and then two assist die, so 4.
All
In
right.
this case, I guess I'll be the last one down.
Okay.
Success, no
so
stress.
Morthos leads the way and kind of starts careening down a bit, having to kind of dodge out of the way of these splurts of yellow gas and splurts of green acid that pop every now and then. And you get to about 20 feet, and you can look below, and you see Kethras, and you let go, and Kethras, do you actually catch him? Or
Yeah.
Okay, so you
I'm
actually catch
assisting.
him. And, yeah,
He lovingly grasps him.
no problem.
Yeah.
All right.
Princess catch.
So, Morthus, do you have any delve equipment? Do you have any equipment that says delve, and then there's like a D6 or a D4
No.
or 8? You know, anything like that?
No, I've just got Haven resource.
Okay.
And technology resource.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
But once I'm at the bottom, I'll help Kethras try and catch people.
So, Morthus, you can go ahead and roll a D4 to do resistance damage to the delve.
Okay.
So that's the default. And then everybody else who's moving down, do the same thing. Okay.
3.
Got it.
Sorry, what are we rolling?
Make the roll and then do.
Do a delve. Like, this isn't gonna, like, only one person's gonna get to do the resistance to the resistance. Everyone else is just sort of climbing down at this point. So it's more along the lines of just, can you get down without taking any damage? So just go ahead and roll 4d10. Everyone who's got to climb down.
Oh, 40-10?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just people are helping. It's fine. Just roll 4d10, and as long as you pass that.
Oh, that sucks.
Nope.
1 4
You can-
1 4.
When I say 40-10, I meant like pop it into the standard. That's fine. So a 6 is pass with stress. So we'll say 4 stress for everyone who failed or succeeded to come back to go down, as the acid from these pustules just continues to pester and like spray on you as you climb down, and several of you get like little chunks of acid on your faces. So that's 4 to Duvesa, 4 to Zerk, I think, and 4
Yeah.
to Tarnished-Steel-Endures.
Blood
That goes to our blood.
Blood, yeah.
Are we in the second tier of the heart now?
I'm gonna tell you where you're going. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You don't know yet. It's a special.
I'm just wondering
it's a special
for my
place.
for my resistances. I'm just wondering.
Treat it like tier 1, because it is a delve going
Okay.
from one place to another. So treat it like tier 1 for now.
I took 2 stress.
Okay. So this is for Duvesa. So if the roll is equal to or lower than your total stress,
no.
Uh-huh.
so I assume that is. But on the bright side, the roll is 6 or lower, so you only get minor. So for Duvesa, we'll say, we'll say that as you fall down, you they try to catch you, but you slip a little bit, and we'll say you're limping. So you can look it up on the handout.
Yep,
I
I'm
have
reading
there.
it right now.
And then for Zerk, how you doing on total stress?
I'm good. I got 5.
All right, and then Tarnished Steel.
I actually mitigated all of that.
Oh, you did? Okay, never mind. I rolled a friggin' 12 too, so I did that. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll say whoever's rope that was, mark 1d4. So we'll mark 3 supply stress, and your rope is no longer with you.
Go.
Okay,
And so I clear all blood stress now because it was minor, so that's the only thing I clear.
correct.
Okay.
Okay, so as you get down, you see that the door is going directly vertically down. This makes no sense. The geometry of this makes no sense. You can see that same VIP. Let me, by the way, roll for the professor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we'll all be ready.
Yes,
Catch
we'll
him.
all catch
I want him
him.
to fail so I can just kill him.
With my
God
knife.
damn. Okay.
Right.
Oh, the professor. Good
He
job.
just sort of does a flip and lands, and he's like, "In my day, I was a very adept gymnast," and he starts to peruse the panels and whatnot. You can see an advert, like an old advert that's kind of been burnt away by the acid of the throat. Something about housing in one section of the spire. You can't make out specifically where, but Tarnished Steel, you see the VIP window opens up again. The door opens up, and you can climb down into the car below. So, as you start to climb down in, all of you begin to fall, kind of in like an awkward direction to where you are now. Like when you step in, it's like physics has shifted in some way, and you fall.
Gravity shifted. Yeah.
So gravity has shifted, and you now are walking again horizontally. When you look, you do not see another door of this train car, but instead you like on either ends, like on either of the long ends, but instead you see a side door that's already opened up, ripped apart, and you can see that there is a large, you're not sure exactly, probably an organ of some kind that's still writhing, maybe a lung, maybe breathing. And that seems to be the only discernible way out. The windows all show signs of that same fleshy wall that you just climbed down from the throat.
So there's this cart's the dead end,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and like the exit to the subway cart's like torn open with a lung blocking the way, right?
You can climb over the lung.
Oh, okay.
You can
I
get
was
out,
just
meaning you can get
Do
out.
we
that way.
want to? Do we want to attack it? Do we want to finish this thing off?
that's. I wasn't thinking of finishing it off, but I was thinking of attacking it.
Stab it, yeah.
I'm curious.
Like,
what's
let's
in the
deflate this
lung.
thing.
Okay.
Probably air.
Well, or what if it's something acidic or unpleasant?
Gold.
Well,
There's gold in them there
I'll
lungs.
shoot it
I
with an
pull
arrow
out
from
my-
distance.
Okay.
Okay.
I
So
was gonna pull out my pistol.
I'll just be there with my shield.
Pew.
so you shoot
I'm
out
gonna
from
eat it. Don't you worry, Evan. I'm gonna eat it.
You shoot out from a distance, and you know the arrow goes through, and you hear a as there's some kind of gas that's expelling from it. Very slowly, you see the lung begin to deflate.
Does the gas have any scent to it?
Yeah, it does.
Like a kerosene?
Same thing you've smelt before. Yeah.
Poo gas.
Okay, all right.
Mm,
Not
I'll
smelling
hold
any,
my
like,
fire.
Okay.
almond or.
Good thing you didn't shoot it with your gun.
It smells like mint. It's very minty.
Yeah.
So it's deflating. Okay. I'll walk over and I'll cut off a piece of it and eat it.
Okay. So
Ooh.
this is wild and occult. Yeah, wild and occult. Sorry.
You want me to cook that for you?
I have both of those. That means it turns to mastery.
You take one. You can take a knack in one of them.
And a knack means what?
I also
Again?
a knack is like a focus in Zweihander. So it's one specific way that you could use that skill or that domain or something like that. So one specific component. So,
What I'll do is I'll roll a d6 instead, and I'll heal myself some. I didn't kill it, did I? So I can't do it. It's only if I kill something.
still
all right.
seems to be living.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it in wild.
Okay.
Still, I can cook that for you if you want.
So after about 5 minutes, you can see that the lung has deflated to such a point where you can very easily walk out as opposed to climb out. And
That sounds safer.
as it
Stomp on
deflates, you can see behind it, and it looks to be a platform for like a subway. You see all sorts of tiled columns. You see
Practically
stairs.
home.
None of this makes sense whatsoever. You see all sorts of abandoned kiosks.
Is there a map?
Are you going
I
out
hope
there?
this place is my jam. I want to.
Yeah, we're going out there.
Okay, so you start walking out, and as you do, there's a person that just suddenly manifests behind one of these kiosks, and you're looking over, and it's this ghostly figure, and they're offering you different maps of Spire, the city above, and like, first time in Spire, sir. And when you reach out to maybe grab it, it's just like it's like ectoplasm. Like your hand just kind of goes through. It's spectral, and it seems to really frustrate them. Why won't you take the map, sir?
Listen, I don't take handouts from beggars.
I
What?
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything better.
Beggars.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
It
He's
doesn't.
begging
He
you
doesn't
for
do
to take
it.
the map.
Listen, it's Morthos the man here. It lets me be as stupid as I want.
You step.
Do I see
so-
anything that feels familiar to me in a subway platform?
You look over and you see a doorway that is next to a window, like a plastic see-through window that looks like a ticket counter.
Oh.
Looks very familiar to you, and you see a sign overhead, and it says the manager's office.
I want to go speak to the manager.
Okay.
I'm your new Karen. No.
So you go up to the door. Door seems to be locked, but you shove into it really easily, and it busts open. And when you step inside, you can see all sorts of like cabinetry, a very large safe, and then you can step behind the counter, and you can see there's all these little tickets like ticket stubs and things like that. Yes, this is how you get to Hogwarts. Surprise!
Yes.
You're
We're wizards
wizards,
now.
Harrys.
We're wizards. Hooray!
You're hairy
We did it,
wizards.
everybody.
I have an ability called Death Follows Close, where I basically have like this specter that's a part of me or bound to me.
Probably
at
starting to
all times.
flicker into existence around here too.
Yeah. I want him to grab one of the pamphlets
Okay.
from one of the spectral people and then be like, thank you.
You're gonna
What's
grab
your
it.
Spectre's name?
I don't have him.
Frankie
named yet.
Muniz.
Phil Spector.
It's starting to so it starts to flicker in a little bit.
Inspector.
Kind of like an old film, like old film reel, not like with a lot of like the intermediate things are kind of missing. So it's like they're not seeing it perfectly. But they reach out, they grab it, and it does seem to be a map. But when you look at it, it is not a map of a city. It seems to be some kind of biological circulatory system. And I'm going to give you a boon of D6 to help with your... if you want to roll a D6, and that'll reduce that on the stress of this particular. Okay,
4.
got it.
I'm a
So
little distraught that I can't find the manager.
you can't find the
buttons.
manager, but Zerk, when you're looking into that room as well, you see this
Yep.
safe.
Yeah, I want to get in that safe.
A
and
safe,
maybe
huh?
Yeah, where
tickets.
people conceal things.
I'm gonna see if I can get into that safe.
Okay. So you take a look at it, and it's your usual safe. It's got a spirally run of like 100 different digits. It's got a little arm bar. It seems to be built right into the wall itself.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to try to get in here? Get into it.
I'll leave
I have
this
a
to your
key.
expertise.
I was
Oh,
gonna say-
I'll smash.
Check is like lockpicking or.
I was gonna say, could I pull on my supplies? You said you can take stress and
Absolutely.
supplies, and I have a lockpick kit with me.
Okay, so I will say you've got a lockpick on you, and as long as you succeed at this, I'll say you don't even have to worry about taking stress for it. So we'll say you can do. So if you're taking stress, no, if you're just gonna take, you can. Okay, I'll say this: you can either choose to just take stress and then you open it, no problem, or you can make a roll and try to avoid the stress.
I will try to roll.
Okay, so go ahead and how about
Why
we
not?
do a discern as you're trying to determine how to
okay.
properly do this. Discern,
Excellent.
and we'll make it Haven because this is a
Ooh.
fairly common thing to find in a lot of societies. Okay,
There we go.
so you will go ahead and take the supply stress as you will take 3 points of supply stress.
I guess it didn't roll my base one, but that's okay.
Just roll
Because
another
it should be
d6.
3.
Just roll another d6, and if it's an 8 or 9, you're good.
Oh, well, you don't want that one.
You're fine.
Yep. All right, I'll take the 3 stress
So
to
take the 3 stress
supplies.
to supplies.
Ooh, my stress is getting up there.
And so I'll roll a fallout check for you. Is it
Oof.
equal
Yep,
to? I think you're good. Equal
Nope.
to. If the roll is equal to or lower than your stress, you suffer fallout.
It's lower.
It's minor
I have-
though.
I have 8 stress right
Okay.
now.
So what kind of items do you got on you?
Like for trinkets,
Hmm.
I have a broken pocket watch with a picture of my mum and a hard to clean drinking horn.
Okay.
Uh,
As you start to, as you're taking your time at this, your stomach starts to growl. You reach into your bag to get a little bit of grub, and you realize that you're down to your last scraps of food, and you can no longer use any supplies protection if you have any. So you're just like empty. You have no more food. So if you want any food, you have to bum it from other people.
all right, or eat. Okay,
Okay. Or eat,
Do my-
I guess, or eat people.
or just eat anything. Do my stresses reset now, like it did with Joe's, or
Only supplies because it was a minor fallout.
gotcha?
So supplies will go to will go. So when you open this up, you find a handful of things in here. You find a stack of worker punch cards, which is a D6 Haven resource. You find an engineering catalog, which is a D6 technology resource,
I would love that catalog.
and you find a pulsing red meat mushroom. That's a D4 wild deteriorating resource.
Ooh,
You better eat that.
When you
I
start,
want what? Go ahead.
I was going to say, when you start kind of going through, there's a couple curious things that you start to notice about some of these items. The punch cards have worker names on them. There's a stack of about 20, and most you don't recognize, but then at the very bottom, there's 5, and you start looking at them, and they have all your names on them. One for Morthos, one for Kethras, one for Zerk, one for Tarnished-Steel-Endures, one for Duvesa. Whereas the other ones were kind of printed, these are written in some scrawly, terrible hand, like someone was trying to interpret how writing is done. And when you, if you call over Tarnished-Steel and show him the tech, he starts flipping through it. You notice that there is a long, bloody clump of hair that's got like a little piece of residue at the one, almost like it's a scalp, and it seems to be holding a page that is an advertisement for the engineering schematics of an ornate mausoleum with all sorts of furnishings, and written in that same script that you see on the actual punch cards for your names, you see in big capital letters, "Here."
Okay, and that's in the catalog?
That is in the catalog. It's in the Cadillac. There was
We
a
get a
Cadillac.
Cadillac now.
Question: is the professor's name on any of these?
You go through it, and there sadly is no Professor Bahigman.
I'm gonna eat him.
By the way, as we've been kind of coming down, now that I'm kind of limping in the back, I've been kind of keeping the professor back with me.
Okay.
And I've been telling him lots of stories. So I'm showing him like my journal and all of my drawings.
Okay.
And I've been introducing him to Jimmy, Tommy, and John, my little three-headed pig
Okay.
thing. And just rapid speech, just kind of telling him all about
Okay.
everything that I'm looking for.
Are you looking to try to form a bond? Is that what you're doing right now?
I am doing my 1 second. I'm sharing my obsession with an NPC.
Okay. Yeah. So when you start talking about the pig and you're looking at the pig and where it came from, he is just beginning to try to back away from you. Like, okay, crazy
And I'm
lady.
like limping and
And he like
to catch
bumps
up and
he
keep
bumps
pace.
into one of those tiled columns. He's, oh, ah, ah, ah! He looks around. So yeah, you can go ahead and mark your beat, having been, and he'll scurry away as best as possible. He'll try to find Kethras, who's hanging out with ghosts, and he'll run away, and he'll find Morthos the Mad doing whatever the hell Morthos the Mad is doing. So Zerk and Duvesa, you both completed beats there.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like we should probably get these punch cards with our names on them, because they'll probably be useful.
Does Tarnished Steels look any different?
It does
Because of
not.
the VIP thing?
No. These are worker punch cards. There's all sorts of
Does
ripped
it
up
say
tickets
what
here and
our
there.
jobs are?
No, it does, however, have a series of like punch times, but they reference they reference different beats of the heart itself. So it's not like 9 a.m., 12 a.m., but it's like a certain number of beats. None of it makes sense to you. You would probably need to consult with somebody, maybe in a haven somewhere, somebody who's more familiar with the goings on of how to track time in the heart.
Yeah.
I want to try and write these down. Because I don't. It seems like these were kind of materialized. I don't really trust that they're going to stay with us if we leave.
Okay, yeah.
That's
so
not
I
a
wanna
bad idea.
Sure,
Find some place to record all the info as best I can.
no problem.
You should record that scalp map too.
Yeah.
Is it actually a map, or was it just a pamphlet?
It is a engineering catalog. It's like a professional catalog, and you flip through it, and there's all sorts of these different designs and schematics for things. But there was that stringy hair that was bookmarking one specific schematic for some kind of fancy mausoleum.
Okay. It
that's-
doesn't tell us
And that's where it's
where
at
it
here.
is. But
It just says here.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the meat mushroom. What did that do again?
The meat mushroom was a wild, deteriorating D4 resource.
Eat it. Consume.
You're pretty confident that this is a piece of the heart. Looking at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You
I'm
gotta
eating
eat it.
Yeah, I'm eating that.
Okay. So go ahead and roll an endure.
Oh no.
Roll an endure wild test.
Here we go. I'm debating. I got that power that lets me automatically get a 6 and succeed, but I have to take stress. I will do that.
It's a safe bet.
Okay, so you're taking stress.
Unorthodox methods. Gain discern skill once per session before you roll dice to resolve an action. Instead, state that your result is a 6. You succeed, but take stress.
Okay, so I rolled your stress. We'll say that this is echo stress, as you feel a strange gurgling in your soul as the mushroom settles into your stomach. Not a physical reaction, but as if there's this strange uncertainty about where exactly that mushroom went when you swallowed it. All right.
Oh.
I'm growing closer to the heart.
So as you look around, there is a stairwell that goes up. And Morthos, you're probably the first to see it.
I would definitely flag it for everyone. I don't want to go on until I get my punch card.
Okay.
So after Kethras is done copying the information, I would give me my punch card.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work,
I'll
and
say-
I would gleefully run down those stairs.
I'll say your punch cards are separate, and then the other stack of like 15, that's going to be the resource. So you can keep the ones that have your names on it without
Okay.
and you can still trade the other resource later on if you want.
Okay.
So
I will put that in my equipment.
Morthos, as you run up the stairs, you are met by a vast open corridor with all sorts of protruding bones sticking out of these fleshy walls. And as you look along the walls themselves, you notice that there is one specific spot on the left-hand side where a series of smaller bones have kind of closed over top of something.
Like a bone cage, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Yeah, so like something.
Oh,
something's
I'll go check it
underneath.
out.
As you peek, there seems to be someone back there.
I'll call out like, "Hey, you fucking person, are you there?"
And there's no response.
I'll start. So
Light
is
'em on
this? Is it like? Is this bone cage like directly on top of them, or is it like locking them into a separate chamber, like a jail
It's
cell?
locking
almost?
them in, it seems, to the fleshy wall.
Okay, so like xenomorph, they're trapped on a
Yes.
wall.
Yes.
Okay, I'll start ripping these bones apart, like
No
as
problem.
much as my spindly little wizard arms can do.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, you start doing that. Maybe someone comes and helps you. And when you see what's behind, you see a torso. You see the arms are kind of held back in almost like they're in sleeves. The head, you can see a chin, but the top part of the head is kind of covered in like a sleeve of that red flesh. You could probably easily enough pull it out if you want.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
So as you do, it just and it drops to the ground. Is anybody standing around Morthos while this is happening?
I don't know if I would have had time to get there or not. I kind of wanted to search around a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
no problem. Is
Yeah, and
any-
I'm limping, so I'm the last one to arrive at
Um,
the
Yeah, let me make my mistakes in solo.
Okay. Kethras, are you there, or is it just Morthos?
No.
Okay, Morthos, you see yourself
Oh my gosh, he's so handsome.
laying in front of you. He is gorgeous. If by
So
gorgeous is covered in all sorts of pustules and rips and tears in their skin, but when you look at it carefully, you are fairly certain this is you. And by fairly certain, I mean you are 100% certain.
Is it dead?
You check for a pulse. There is no pulse. Roll a discern occult check.
Okay. I have both of those.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So is that a pool of 3? Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
One and then okay.
Success, no stress.
As you're trying to figure out if they're okay, you notice some small glowing blue not liquid, more like an ooze starts to seep out from it, from their ear, and you pick it up and you get you kind of wrap it around something, and it's just sort of like a putty. You can write in your inventory that you have a D6 occult resource. It is a memory of another you.
Ooh.
Oh, that's bizarre.
This is bad, guys. If there can be one more of him, that means there can be at least two more of him.
I am really glad you got that opportunity to get out. That it was a resource, because my next phrase out of my mouth was, "How does it taste?"
So you put your tongue to it and taste it, and you immediately go comatose, and you start having this strange vision as everything around you disappears, and it's just black as far as the eye can see. And as you feel like you're turning around in the darkness, but eventually you notice standing in front of you a fairly massive door that has to probably be about 15 feet tall, double doors, huge in metal, in kind of stained glass and glowing. And there's this voice like static that's echoing from the door as it starts to open. And you can see that this green-blue light just comes rushing out from between the double doors, and it starts to go off in all sorts of different directions like it's a prism, but you're only able to see like one small fraction, as if this memory only allows you to see that little part. And then you're back, you're in this strange train car area, you're sitting down on the ground, and you have wrapped around like a number 2 pencil this occult putty, and you have this strange memory that was very familiar to you, but you have no recollection of it.
That's weird. I'll tuck that in my pocket and save it for later.
And you can go ahead and you can mark off a completion of a beat. Gain information about why you were chosen by the heart.
So here's another question. Let your curiosity lead you into danger was tonight's new beat.
That one will say you probably could have achieved just by shooting the fire down the throat and stuff like that. So,
or diving in front of it and
anything like that is fine. Yeah. So you're not allowed to complete 2 beats at once, like meaning but you easily did it with the others.
Cool. I got a beat done.
Okay.
Right.
Then I would definitely want to loot my own corpse.
Okay. So you can see that most like your normal things that you would carry, they're not on here. There's like not you're stripped down to this next to nothing. You have this basic garb. It's as if whatever wall trap that this has been in was feasting and kind of pulling it apart.
Oh, okay. Then I would want to take the different me and kind of like hoist it over my shoulder, and I would want to go introduce it to my new friends.
Okay. So you carry it back down the stairs, and you have it on the shoulder, and you show it to everybody, and everyone has seen it at this point.
Like, hey, Morthos, this is Morthos. No, you guys aren't Morthos. I'm Morthos. But anyway, this is Morthos.
Vomit a little bit.
Uvesa totally wants to try like amend or something on this version.
If you vocalize that, I am about it.
What if Zerk eats you?
Roll a mend. Cursed.
Aw, darn. I was hoping you were going to say a cult.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Got my fingers crossed for you. You can do this.
Oh.
Can I cash in my once per session reroll?
Sure.
So,
Do you have you have one of those? if that's a serious thing, yeah. Go ahead.
yes, so that is my my dire portents.
Okay.
Once per session, reroll any dice that you or anyone else rolled. The original roll is a vision you received. So act differently this time around.
Interesting.
Nice.
Okay.
Focus a little bit harder.
Give
this
us
time.
2 Morthos.
All right.
Please give us 2 Morthos.
Go for it. Reroll
Jeff,
it.
I don't know how far I can take jokes on your stream, but
As far as you want. I don't care.
if there's 2 Morthoses, it only counts as masturbation.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Okay.
I succeeded with no stress.
So you heal it, and suddenly their eyes pop open wide, like looks over at Morthos, and then deflates and is dead again.
Oh,
Oh.
you
What,
tried.
did you feel anything?
A
Did
little
anything feel
bit.
different?
Seeing yourself die, how did it feel?
You know, yes, those are private thoughts that I'm not going to share with you.
No, I wondered if like that
I
one
feel
coming alive like
insane
sucked
relief.
anything like
Oh,
if there was like a negative effect on
Suck.
you that this other one came alive.
It's like that.
Intense relief.
It's like that part in Alien Resurrection where Ripley finds all of her failed clones.
Yeah.
Kethras, while they're all distracted looking at Morthos, you hear a familiar ringing. And you kind of shuffle in your pockets and you look at this little stone, and it's not actually ringing, but you hear
Let's
it
call from your master.
from up the stairs that Morthos just came down.
Okay. I'm gonna try and sneak off towards it.
Okay. So they're all distracted and you're going up the stairs. And when you look off to the right, most of the room looks the same as I described to Morthos. However, when he walked into the room, he didn't see what you see. You see what look to be 4 skeletons hanging from some kind of rack, each with this ornate purple and black robe, and they're tattered and mostly ripping off, and they're swaying kind of back and forth, and occasionally the bones clink into one another, and they make that same kind of tone that your phone, for lack of a better word, does.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And as you look, you see underneath their feet is this trunk. And you see a symbol that is very familiar to you. And then you feel a buzzing in your pocket, and you see your stone at this point is actually ringing.
Okay. I'll put it to my ear.
And you hear a voice simply say, "Retrieve what they failed to recover." And then clicks. And that's it.
I'll pocket it and go over to the trunk.
So it's fairly big. This is a D8 occult awkward, which means it's kind of not the easiest thing to lug around.
Okay.
Pick up and you say, "New stone, who dis?"
And so you can go ahead and mark one of your beats completed as well, Joe.
God damn it.
Sorry, I had to get it out there.
That's pretty good.
All right, so what are the rest of you doing?
I don't know. We watched.
If there's not much else to be found down here, I
Moving on.
suppose our next option is move along. And
Lisa
we
wants
watched
to go in and
this-
see if her skeleton figure is in there somewhere.
Is this trunk locked?
It is.
It's locked. Okay.
So you pick it up, you start carrying it. It's not that you can't like conceal this. You just have this big trunk
Yeah.
in front of you. As everyone comes up the stairs, and you can see. When
I would like to note that I am carrying my corpse with me.
Fair enough.
you never
Morthos,
know when you might need a double.
When you come
That's
up
true.
here, you see no.
already dead.
It's true. When you come up here, you see no signs of the ribcage prison, and instead, it's just this kind of long, fleshy corridor that continues off into darkness.
It's peculiar. Not that my character would know this, but we've each seen kind of our own thing in here.
Listen, the heart wants
Like I
what
said,
the heart wants.
that's meta. So,
If there's only one path, I'm happy to take it.
yeah, does it go both directions or just one direction?
It's just one direction, or you can go back down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Morthos
All right.
and dead Morthos are about that one path.
So you continue traveling until, I mean, hours. This is an incredibly long and boring and endless corridor. It's probably 2 hours of walking, you think. At some point, the ground becomes tile and then goes back to cushy flesh. And then you see a very large pipe that's blocking the way forward, and there's all sorts of steam coming out of it in different directions. And to try to climb underneath it or over top of it, you would risk what you know now would probably be a very burning sensation.
I want to confirm that, so I'll take Dead Morthos's hand and put it up against the pipe, see if it sizzles.
It does sizzle. Yeah.
Okay.
And you hear and then it deflates again.
That's just like Dead Bender from Futurama on that one episode.
Like, hey guys, this is hot.
Thanks for clarifying.
Is it
What he tried to say
difficult
was-
to pass through, like these pipes and stuff, or
You would need I would require a check. Is what I'm saying.
okay, so they would be awkward to pass through.
It would be. Yeah.
So is it like just a network of a bunch of pipes that are all?
But there's one fairly big one, and there's a bunch of small ones. But the big one, you can see there's a variety of valves, and there's steam kicking off of it. That steam is yellowish.
Ew.
Okay.
Would it be possible, like, to seal it off with the valves, or does it seem like that's an actionable sort of thing?
If you'd like, you can roll a discern technology.
Could I?
Sure.
I would like to give that a whirl with my witch spit.
So we'll
'Cause
say
it becomes a sticky adhesive substance.
take an assist die from Devase's witch spit, and then roll the discern tech with an assist die from Devase.
Okay.
Could I also add to that, or okay.
With what?
I wanted to try and do Enter the Gray again to try and walk around and not have to worry about the heat that's being put off, and try and trace down the pipes and things and see where they're leading. Try and get a better idea of where some of those valves might be connected.
Okay, so as you shift into the gray and look around, you can see that most of the pipes just seem to disappear, like into the fleshy wall that you've been traveling. They don't seem to connect to one another. They're all independent and kind of weaving together.
Okay.
There is a way through. Like you could follow and help anybody who's trying to delve past. That's certainly possible.
Okay.
Like as you kind of have in your mind now the easiest course of path.
And I did
awesome.
I did make my test too, so
So
Wait.
I'll go ahead and give you a D4 boon as you note the specific valves that you know that if you were to turn them or plug them or some way that would keep the steam from escaping, and you get Tuvesa spit and kind of rub it, and that makes it a little bit easier. So roll a D4.
all right. As I do have delve items as well, if it matters.
This is just a boon. So
There
okay,
we go.
and then
Not too bad.
so now there's it's a lot easier to get through. If somebody wants to do like the lead delve check to kind of push through, and you'll get an assist die
Sure.
from Kethras from that.
I will take the lead on this one if you
Okay.
want.
So delve tech or delve Warren, because it's a tight corridor. Either one of those is fine.
I have delve and tech. So
And an assist die, so you'll have 40-10.
hopefully that will make us great success time. It does.
Yay!
All right, so roll a d6. So you're gonna do some stress to the actual delve now. Okay.
There we go.
And so you, between you and Kethras, you lead the way. Little bits of steam pop out, but you manage to block it just in time. And you all manage to bypass this little network of pipes, and you come what looks like yet another strange doorway. Except this is a fleshy door, almost like the meeting of two like ridges of like interior.
A valve or something.
It's actually not even. It's like an actual biological valve. Yeah. And when you slip and peek in, you can see that there is this large open cavern that's got to be about 500 feet across, a huge dome in the sky that goes up probably another 500 feet, and you can see all of these different patches of orange, you're not sure, plant life, and there's dozens of people milling about.
Live people?
Roll a discern, and you could do occult.
Like
Okay.
people.
That's right up
perhaps.
my alley. So that's going to be a 3 for me. Critical success.
You see, what they do not appear to be ghost-like, like ectoplasmic, like back on the train track. Instead, they seem to be partially digested. So you see
Like-
people, yeah, like you're looking down and you can see they're wearing the same kind of white togas, and some are wearing other clothes as well. And
Like the
The
Smart
professors.
dudes?
And,
yeah, so it seems to be a
shit.
mix of the professors that made it here, but also likely other passersby that just got caught up in whatever was going down, like other delvers or whatnot, and they seem to be farming. You see them like actively like farming the kelp, because as you look closer, you see that this is like this orangey type kelp.
do they? I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
No,
you.
I was gonna say
Do
that, and
they-
then there's this large, there's kind of a large reflecting pool in the center of all these patches of kelp.
Do they have the same physical deformations that the smart people, the arguers, had?
Yes.
Okay. So they were summoned here to
Harvest kelp.
cultivate this kelp. Yeah.
And you can't help, for some reason, your mind just, like your eyes just keep just coming back to that fountain at the center.
I don't trust anything that makes me look at it without me wanting to look at it.
I know, it's fair.
I'm gonna ask
Uh,
our professor friend like if he knows any of these people or
Yes,
you know, judge
that's
his
that's a
reaction.
good call.
and he starts looking down, and he does in fact start to point out people he knows, like, oh, that's Professor Travis, and that's Nancy, and that's
And it's like how long have they
Administrator
been?
Stiller, and yeah.
So like how long have they been gone for? Like are these people that have like been gone for a while that he knew they were
Some
gone?
are days, some are weeks. Some he didn't even realize had left.
Do they have the mutations and all that stuff?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the more advanced, like what his was turning into, or the less?
They
severe?
definitely look like fish people, but they still have enough identifiable human and drow parts that you can discern who they are.
Okay.
Good old Nancy and Travis.
Professor Hammerdash.
They're great. Yeah.
Hmm.
And there is a very clear staircase weaving down.
I want to try and take the next opportunity that I see people are pausing to investigate surroundings. Like if I notice people are staying here to try and talk to anyone, to try and crack open this chest and see what's in it.
Okay. You can go ahead into a discern haven.
Okay.
Or you can do a discern occult.
Discern occult. I don't have any of those. Okay.
But you didn't need them. Maybe.
Can you
Positive thinking.
How do you do the thing with supplies?
You
Is it
just
like you
take supplies.
stress?
You just take supply stress and say, "Yeah, I'm doing that."
Okay. I want to do some supply stress to find lockpicks as well.
Okay. So take 3 supply stress, and you have managed to pop this open. And there are all sorts of books and tomes and scrolls in here.
Hmm.
Fancy.
Would take probably take you a while to really dive into them, but you pick up and you see some fairly rare volumes.
Okay. I want to kind of glance over it quickly to see if there's anything that stands out in particular, anything that seems to be like maybe something that's wrapped or packaged differently to be protected, or if it's all just kind of random.
There's a scroll case, and when you open it up, there's a very fragile piece of parchment that likely opened in such a location as this, who knows what kind of gases in the atmosphere could easily dissolve the parchment. In a more protected setting, it probably could be unfurled, but yeah, this does seem to be a little bit more protected than others.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm
They're
gonna
interdestined.
wander over and look over his shoulder.
Okay. You see him just kind of poking around. Like, you all noticed that, like, you noticed the trunk. Like, it's hard not
Yeah.
to. It's like,
Hard. Yeah.
What do you got
it
there?
was in my pocket earlier. Just didn't say.
That was the trunk he found earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just kind of want to look around the rest of the room at the moment. And...
It looks like a settlement. Like you're seeing little huts. You're seeing, yeah, it just looks like a farming settlement. That's honestly just what it looks like. You periodically see some pipes pop up here and there.
Are there other ways in and out from here other than how we came in?
Not that you could tell from here. I'll say there is one more curious thing that Tarnished Steel notices, and that's the VIP lights that you had seen that first led you in here. You can see a run of them coming down the wall, faintly, sliding between this path between two patches of kelp, and it leads directly up to that fountain. And the lights just...
In the center?
Yep.
The same one my eyes kept getting drawn to?
Yeah.
Yeah, not derailing Dan's thought here, but like... I was very curious about that fountain too. Do I feel like an otherworldly thing drawing me to that fountain?
Yes. You feel a strange compulsion.
Well, not having a strange compulsion, but confusion and interest.
We'll say your dead body goes.
That's my thought here. Is I definitely want to try and throw.
Arm reaches out in the direction of the fountain, and then deflates again. It's gonna be a weekend at Bernie's thing. I think that's gonna be.
Yeah. Maybe you give him a sip of it.
Well, that's what my thought was. Is like I definitely want to throw the dead Morthos into this fountain.
I still want to approach the fountain as well. So if we do it with the arms locked, all buddy, that's fine.
Okay, I'm cool. You are there to keep me from accidentally going in.
Yep.
And I'll guide us there and toss my dead corpse into the fountain.
Or at least dunk him a little bit.
No, I'm tossing.
Just full on yeet.
Yeet.
So you guys are going down?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You start moving down the stairs, one by one.
Ka-chunk.
And the partially digested remains of the various fish folk that were drawn here, they all like peek up and look at you. Some of them are just watching you go past.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm VIP. It's all right.
But they don't seem aggressive towards you.
Okay.
I brought my
All right.
multi-pass.
Multi-pass.
Got a fast pass.
Does that change when I toss dead Morthos in?
So when you come up to the actual fountain itself, there's a little hut nearby, and you can see that there's two decaying, digested folk that are playing some kind of checkers or something like that. And they look up at you. One of them's wearing these like fancy spectacles, and they look really carefully at them. And then they focus in on Kethras. They look really intently at the trunk, and they ignore Morthos as Morthos walks past and chucks his body into the fountain. Splashes everywhere. Morthos, when you look down, you see that there's no clear bottom like a fountain. There's no like coins at the bottom.
Yeah.
But instead, you see it flop down into the water. You see a bubble begin to form around its head, and it just sort of floats and starts to right itself and sink a bit until it seems to hit a ground. You can barely see with the light the tip of its head, and it's just sort of standing there, kind of floating in water.
So, like, there's possibly something else down there?
That's fucked up.
You can, if you would like, if anybody would like to, you can roll a delve. What do I want to call this?
I'm game for this already, whatever it is.
Delve wild, and this is going to be risky.
Can we
what's
assist
it to do?
whoever?
My whole call out at that point is, Zerk, you need to come taste this water.
Yes, you can assist this as if you're all crowding around and watching this happen. This decayed figure will start to limp in its direction, and you can see like its leg is not quite there, and like half its face has been digested by like stomach acids, and it's got these fancy spectacles, and it looks intently at Kethras and then down at the trunk and
Just
motions.
snap it shut and try and position myself in front of him.
And it just says, and it kind of gives you it's like holds the spectacles out and says, and like, as a way of pointing at the spectacles and then pointing at your face.
Maybe you need to take the spectacles.
Oh.
Put them on.
Is he like trying to hand them to
Yeah,
me?
yeah, he took some off and he's like handing them to you,
Yeah.
and he's pointing down.
Okay. I'm gonna grab them and then
So you put
Look at
them
the
on.
trunk.
When you look down at the
there it
trunk,
goes.
you can see that the trunk is no longer a trunk, but instead is this scaly, rainbow-colored, writhing egg.
We're gonna eat it.
Make an omelet.
Take all the things out of it.
And and he kind of do you have anything on you? Do you have any resources on you?
Any resources?
Yeah.
Other than the drug stuffs for my other beat now.
So they'll point at the drug stuff and they'll make like a trade motion for the like, and then they'll point at the drugs as if they can't seem to talk. They're trying to trade.
If you need that for a beat, maybe I can offer something I have.
You don't know that.
Give him the drugs.
Gives
I
him the
wouldn't know that.
drugs.
I'm just saying if you'll convey
know.
that it's important enough.
Yeah, I probably have something
I'm
too.
also trying to not draw a whole lot of attention to this interaction.
Yeah,
That's fair. I might be.
Just light it
be a
on
little-
fire. We
might
got to
be a
make
little
an
petty
omelet.
here.
Give him the drugs. Give him the drugs.
Fuck
Well,
it, yeah. I'll
While he's
trade.
thinking,
Well, so it was 2 instances of a D4, and you said that it was either 2 D4 drug stuffs or a combined D8.
yeah, you can either do D4 or a D8.
Okay.
You would need to do a D8. This is a D8 item.
Okay. I'll do it.
Okay, so he will trade it to you, and he will take the bits of drugs, the little baggies of drugs, and you can go ahead and write as a piece of equipment. Where did I put it?
Equipment.
Yeah, so it's spectacles, and these are fragile, D8, cursed, and then tarnished steel. While you're at the edge of the water, because we gotta close this down pretty soon.
Yep.
While you're at the edge of the water, you see a school of shimmering fish just begin to sort of swarm around the Morthos body, as if it's inspecting it, and then just goes away. And I would say, why don't you go ahead and roll a discern religion?
Oh, good. I'm good at none of those.
It's okay.
Standard.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Good roll
Good,
anyway.
good enough.
So you're gonna take 5 points of mind stress
Oh fuck!
Oh,
as
Good grief.
you've heard tales. You've heard stories. Aelfir have a peculiar way of life. They have a peculiar afterlife story about when Aelfir die, their souls are kind of reborn in a place known as the Slumbering Depths, where the bodies of Aelfir are born as babes and they grow and they experience crazy dreams, and then once they are of a age with which they can then again be reborn, they are reborn, like they are shot to the surface and into another body through the shimmering fish that you just saw. And then I would say this is a very unsettling moment to be in such close proximity to this, of which so 5 mind stress, and then if your fallout check was a 10.
I'm good. I'm at 7
Okay.
stress. Getting close.
So we are 11 after our stop time, so I figure we can go ahead and end on that. Looking at beats, I think Joe, you just got the last one in under the wire. Let's see. Morthos, you got both of yours. Zerk.
I got one.
I just got one.
Zerk got
I got
one.
the safe.
Duvesa got one.
I got none.
What were your 2 again?
I needed to retrieve a D10 item or a journal for an extended period of time, and I assume that lasts for more than this session.
I mean, if you were journaling while Morthos was messing around with his stuff and Kethras, or something, if you were in the managers, I could see that.
Okay. If you'll give it to me, I will take it.
Or the journaling that I said I was doing, I could have suggested that instead.
Okay. Yeah,
Because it wasn't so much that I wanted to, but I would have just pitched like, hey, I don't think these items are going to stick around here. Maybe we should write them down.
Yeah.
So,
That works for me. Let's make sure everyone gets a little bit of progress at least.
Right.
So we are in the middle of a big stomach area, some farm. There's a fountain that leads somewhere, and there's a bunch of partially eaten people around you. And so, yeah. Sound good?
Sounds
good.
Good.
I'm waiting for that to be like the small intestine or something.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You actually managed to bypass quite a bit. You had pretty good delve rolls that managed to get through some of the other things that I had in mind for moving in and out, including the tapeworm monster. So
Oh.
that's okay. All right, so we're past our time. Thanks to everybody who's in the channel. We'll try to do this again next week as long as everybody's okay with that. So keep an eye. 9 p.m. Central next Monday, same channel. Let's see. This week, Melissa and I will be in our final Ailing Isles story show on Thursday on Zweihander RPG, their Twitch channel. Who's on Friday this week on Zweihander RPG?
Chuck.
So,
Yeah.
It's
Vendors.
Blood Marshes is back.
The Bloody Marches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll also be earlier that day, so it kind of has a slight overlap. We'll be on Friday as well, playing some Mutineer Zero on this channel. And then who else has got stuff this week? What do we do?
Tomorrow night on Zweihander RPG, I'm going to be sitting down with Jeff, who wrote Leather, Steel, Blood, and Bone, and we're going to walk through it together on the stream to give it people a peek of what it's all about and how it's a really cool supplement and how easy it is to integrate into your game.
Very cool.
And I think that's it for me on the channel until Sunday.
Okay.
Zweihander at 9 p.m. Central.
Right on.
I do got to say that I've got my print copy over in my pile of books somewhere. Yeah, it's I don't know where it is. It's right here. Here it is.
I added all the I made a on Roll20, I've got like an injury button like for different things, and I added all the injuries, the extra injuries and things in there.
Yeah.
It's good times.
It is
Nice.
a worthwhile supplement. Jeff, Adam, Ken. I don't know how to pronounce the last person's name. Added Cruelty. Maruze.
Oh, that's Baller, I think, on the Discord. I don't know how to pronounce their name either.
Okay. I always mess up their name, but I don't ever give them enough credit because
Malinowski? I don't know his first name. Malinowski is the last.
yeah. That's a great
one.
supplement, and they all knock that out of the park.
Right on.
I'll roll my D8 to refresh real quick.
Yeah, go
so
for
we
it.
can all see how mediocre it is. There it
Oh,
is. See?
jeez. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
That reduces some of my stress. So
Right on. All right, so that's it for the night. We got a couple fallouts. Another delve. That was fun. That was cool. So yeah, we'll do more of this, and maybe I'll convince them to hop into that fountain next week.
Yeah.
I
Won't
was
take
about ready
much.
to.
Won't take much.
Let's do it. Skinny dip.
I'm very impressionable anymore.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night.
Thanks for hanging out.
Adios.
Good night.